Now is the time to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. Hello. Now is the time.
Oh, yeah. When we gonna get it together, everybody.
I'm very proud and pleased and privileged to welcome Maya Azucena to the show today. Maya, I was looking at you on YouTube today, and boy, I watched one with one of my favourite artists, Roy Ayers, and you can really belt it out, can't you?
Oh, thank you so much. I was very inspired that night. I often think of it as such an honor. I mean, such a privilege to be on stage at all, but certainly to share the stage with Charlie Wilson's backing band and Roy Ayers. So what's really important to me when I get up there is kind of connecting kind of on a spiritual level almost. And so, yeah, I really dig in for those performances.
This is very personal. Roy Ayers, one of my favourite artists of the past. Haven't heard from him for a long time. But then when I look down at some of the people that you've worked with, my lord, Roberta Flack, the Isley Brothers, Gladys Knight. Wow, some great artists to work with. You must have gained so much experience for working with these artists.
Yeah, those particular artists, the way that I interacted with them was that I was placed on bills with them. So I would open for them, and I would get to see, I'd perform right before them, and then I would get to hear them perform. And in most cases, I got to hang out with them backstage. Roberta Flack, for example, was really, really kind and very open to me and invited me into her trailer and asked me, how's your career going? And just really generous. And I feel like that feeling of having the baton passed in a way. Yeah.
I was going to ask you that, I know, because, you've got youth on your side, you're a young lady. I should imagine that in your younger age, Roberta Flack was somebody that you idolised and looked up to.
She definitely is an inspiration, for sure. One of the things about the artists that I admire and look up to from earlier days, artists that were daring and took chances and didn't stick within the boundaries of a genre. Roberta Flack had the CD First Take, which was primarily acoustic, and then she went on to do Feel Like Making Love and all these other songs that are considered very iconic R&B soul. Take a Stevie Wonder, for example, he'll go from an instrumental classical piece into a funky gospel piece into a reggae-tinged piece, yeah. and artists that I admire explored those boundaries.
Actually, that brings me on to my next question. When I was reading up your bio and also some reviews, some people call you R&B, some people call you hip-hop, some people mix you up with the two. Where would you actually put yourself more than anything?
I have coined a term, it's called raw soul, and it's live-based soul that has an attitude. And what I mean by that, it's this live soul that has a knock and a high energy to it, drawing from hip-hop, drawing from jazz, drawing from funk. But basically the essential root of it is kind of raw soul. It's soul that's just kind of raw and very heartfelt and energized. And
like most artists, I gather that a lot of the songs that you sing and you write and you perform are from life experiences, no more than the half, because the lyrics obviously bring that up. And if anybody were to listen to that, it was a pretty hard time for you, I gather.
Yeah, it really was. The half is extremely honest and extremely storytelling. I think a lot about the fact that as an artist, not just a singer that sings other people's music, but an artist, that it's an emotional risk to be vulnerable, and yet it's the most powerful thing you can do as an artist, because other people find themselves in you. And people that don't have a voice feel that they have someone representing their voice and their story. But you have to first be willing to be vulnerable enough to tell your story.
Do you actually write most of your own stuff?
I absolutely, everything you hear from me, save for one or two covers, are songs that I wrote. Definitely write my own lyrics and vocal arrangements.
Right, got you. I've listened to nearly all your songs today, and I must say you're a very, very talented lady. But I would say one of my favourites is Junkyard Jewel. I mean, would you say that's one of your best that you've released?
Yeah, I would actually. There's something, sometimes when you write a song, even before anyone else hears it, you just feel that there's something really special about it. And Junkyard Jewel, from day one, one, it sort of just fell out of my mouth. It happened so organically. And I'm telling you, I've performed that song in prisons. I've performed that song in so many different circumstances, and I have seen men cry. It just moves people. It touches people, and it's sort of my ode, you know, to the diamond in the rough.
Without a shadow of a doubt it does, because I can honestly tell you that when we played that within the Fame Games team here, you know, I look around and DJ Cryer's got a tear in her eye, and it makes me emotional as well. And then I took it home and I played it to my wife, and she said, oh, this is just wonderful. So for sure you do that. Now, you said that you sung it in prison. Were you actually in prison, or did you actually sing it to prisoners?
Well, I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm one of those people that believes that those in prison are still human beings, and I feel that they need encouragement and uplifting. And so when I have an opportunity to sing in a jail or a prison, I do. So, I've done it a few times. Yeah,
you actually sing at quite a few events, don't you? I think that something that's close to your heart is about abuse, about physical abuse to women, because I should imagine, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's something that you've gone through.
Yes, I did. In fact, I was in a very abusive relationship once in my life, and again, talk about having the courage to be vulnerable and share your story. It allows people who are maybe still in that situation to see light at the end of the tunnel, or to see someone that has overcome and the situation, see a future for themselves in that. So yeah, I did. I produced an event called Hope Night, which was a domestic abuse awareness event, and I combined a concert production with special guest speakers from different nonprofit organizations in an effort to raise awareness, about the subject and make people feel connected to it. Because even if you haven't gone through domestic violence, I felt it was important for people to know that it's still your concern. One thing that I learned, which was pretty amazing, is that one of the primary reasons for homelessness in the U.S. for women, one of the primary reasons that you will see a homeless woman on the street has to do with domestic violence. And I never thought of that connection before reading that statistic. But you think, wow, you mean the homeless problem is connected to this? That's crazy. But yeah.
It sounds to me that it's been pretty hard for you, your journey, perhaps, to where you are now. And if you were to actually, somebody just to pick up your biog and read through it, you go, this lady's actually on her way. She's making it. Is that the case, or is it still a bit of a struggle for you?
Well, it's both. I mean, I look at it like, man, the things that have been accomplished during the course of my career are things that a lot of people haven't experienced. I tell you, when I'm sitting in a hotel lobby in Croatia and like my song comes on the radio, or I don't know, just random things, performing in front of 50,000 people in Macedonia last month, or singing at the Bob Marley house 2 days ago with the Marleys. Like, these kinds of experiences are things that definitely witness to me that doing a good job. At the same time, I have a lot more that I want to accomplish, and it's still difficult, and it's still a struggle, but I don't know. I accept my journey.